Hey everybody, Maude here. Thanks for joining us. This week I would like to help you open your hips far more effectively through the impact area. Why is it important? Why do the best ball strikers do this? Because it generates so much more power, it helps you deliver the power, and it also helps you to hit it much straighter. So getting that open through impact, this is one of the things you'll see so common with literally every decent player on the planet. They have a wonderful clearance. That's what I want you to learn, because if you're not doing this, if you're finding yourself at impact here where you're very straight on, you're going to end up having a swing that has a very little power. And then obviously, watch this, if there's no space here, you end up having to just flick the club with the arms, so you'll have impact positions also that look a little bit like this. You might even have a chicken wing that starts to come out as a byproduct. All of these factors are generating inconsistencies, huge loss of power. So it's very important that you learn to open the hips. That is what I'm going to share with you in this week's training. Before I get into the video though, if you're new to this channel and this is one of your first videos of mine, hop into the community by pressing that subscribe button and the bell, and I notify you every time there's a new video just like this one. Now, let's get started. Why is it important? Well, I've just given you a brief introduction of why getting the hips open is important. Watch this. If I was to pick up a ball in the most simplest fashion, if I pick up a ball and don't move my hips and just throw it like this, all I've got is an isolated arm motion. There's no power in that. If I do this and now I've got my hips open, I can use my body, the entire body, to sling the ball. So clearly there's more power involved. The other factor is clear, when you're here, if I don't move, I end up getting this flicky motion, as I said, and the club gets unstable, it closes, it kind of opens, it just becomes not nice. So I want to show you now how to open those hips. First thing, the easiest thing to do is this. Stage number one, and my question to you is, what is your target? What is your target? Most people have so much attention on their golf swings, the golf ball, keeping their head down, that everything's here. They do want to hit it down the fairway, but the problem is they've got so much focus and worry about what's going on down here that their bodies just don't move from this spot. So where you put your attention, where you put that attention will have a completely direct impact on what goes on with those hips. If your attention is in this area, why would you turn through? You're going to focus on here, you're going to look something like this. So, I mean, in its extreme, there's my ball. Please hit the ball. Make a good swing, hit it straight. I mean, I'm silly exaggerating here, but that is going to create a very static motion. The golfer who's kind of out there, thinking about where they're going to hit it and they're focused, they're moving towards this target. As they're moving towards this target, that is going to naturally encourage more hip motion. It doesn't guarantee it, but it's going to increase the likelihood that it's going to happen. What does guarantee the hips not moving is too much attention, too much obsession, too much thinking going on about the swing and concern over where the ball's going to go. All right. So stage number one, make sure that your target draws out the hip turn. That's important. The target needs to be out there. Tip number two is, I want you to imagine now, let's grab a jam jar or a cookie jar, and watch this. If to open the lid, there are two forces at play here. So when you kind of take a jam jar, and you kind of twist it, you've got opposite forces all the time working, like this, twist. So I want you to imagine now your feet are working in opposite directions. So most people are trying to open their hips, that's just artificial and weak. That's not what we're doing. No pros tries to open their hips. Their hips are a byproduct of what goes down on in the feet. So when you get yourself set, what I want you to imagine is you're stood on a gigantic jam jar. And what you're going to do is with this side here, you're going to kind of unscrew the jam jar. So you've got a force going this way with your right foot and a force going this way with your left. And you really feel, and imagine the jam jar's a little bit stuck. And you're going to push it out. You're really going to drive it. Now, as you're driving that there and you twist the jam jar, what happens to the hip? It moves as a byproduct. The difference is the hip's not moving because it's some limp motion. It's moving because it's how you're generating that power. So what you do, you get yourself set, make a few swings. I want you to imagine on both sides, you're going to turn the jam jar this way, you're going to turn it there, feel that in the feet, and then on the way through it, you're also going to feel like you're going to turn the jam jar, feel those forces working. And I would do this to start off with in a really nice, slow fashion. Turn the jam jar this way, and then from here, turn it through that way, and really sense that ground working. Artificially moving the hips and trying to get them open just won't work, and if it does, it's a fake motion. As professionals, we don't want to open our hips artificially. They're opening because it's helping us generate speed into this motion. So have a look at this again. We'll get ourselves set. We're stood on that jam jar. I've often used a gigantic screw here, but I think the jam jar and the opposite forces works nicely as well. So we get ourselves set, feel the forces going in opposite directions. You've got one force going into there, another one's unscrewing it here, and then again, unscrew it here. You can really feel those legs working. Let's have another look at this. Simple, nice and easy motions to start with. Now, on to the number 3, which, if you've ever seen the new hotshot at the moment, Mafia, go and check him out, sensational player. He has an interesting drill which I think could also help you learn the feel of what is open. So watch this. One thing you'll see Mafia do, check him out online, is he has a little neat move. So when he gets himself set here, he actually turns his hips this way and his shoulders slightly open as well. Now what's he doing here? Well, I think this kind of drill will help you feel what open actually feels like. A lot of people don't really know what it's supposed to feel like at the moment they strike a golf ball. So if you get yourself set here normally, and then just open your hips, open your shoulders a little bit. So roughly you want about 30 degrees open with your hips, 15 degrees open with your shoulders would be a good guide. And then you open here, get that feeling, come back, and then just very slowly move into that position. So again, I'm not hitting these hard in any shape or form at this stage. What we're trying to do is teach you and help you learn the feel of this situation. So let's have another look at this. Get ourselves set. Hips there. We're going to open the hips a little bit here by twisting that jam jar. We're going to open the shoulders a little bit. Feel what that's like. Hold it there for a second or two. Come back to square. Nice and smooth. So in summary, what have we done? Well, the very first thing you need to do in order to try and get those hips working is, well, first of all, understand why. You get them working because it's one of the main reasons why you generate power and accuracy. When you throw a ball, it's how you get everything delivered, flowing through to the target. You know, what leads all this, what creates all this? The target. You know, if you're focused on down here because you've got so many swing thoughts, you're worrying about this, worrying about that, you're going to stay very fixed to this area, and you have just these isolated motions of just your arm working. When you get more target oriented and your intention's out there, your body's more likely to move. That in itself could be curative, that could naturally just improve it. But to fine tune this, once you've got that in place, then you've got those other couple of exercises. This isn't a matter of just, oh, I tell you what, I've got to get my hips open. The hips moving or opening are a result of natural athleticism in the shot, no matter your age. Imagine that jam jar. There's always opposite forces. You know, to screw the lid off, you're kind of moving the jar one way and the lid the other way. The same principle is true in golf. We want to move the hips. What's happening is you've got a force going into the heel of the lead foot here, my left foot, and a force going this way. And I'm twisting the jam jar, and as I'm doing this, my hips are the byproduct open, but they open with power. They're not just artificially doing this. So you get a few balls, get that sensation. I would take your time with this, no hitting long shots initially, just really sense that, and then from there really feel the jam jar going through. I'm playing a few short shots to start with to get that sensation. And the third and final thing is the Mafia exercise. This is personally one of my favorites. I really like this. So for somebody who also can get a little bit slidey through impact myself and doesn't always get the hips open, this I really, really like. And that's just a case of getting yourself set here, feeling that you're going to turn the jam jar here. You're opening up your hips about 30 degrees, shoulders about 15. You learn to feel what that's like there. Hold it, come back into center again, no big shots, back, and away we go. And it is as simple as that, he says. So I hope you enjoyed this training. If you did, don't forget to hit a thumbs up and share it with somebody who you think could benefit from something like this. Maybe they're struggling with some distance and accuracy. This simple exercise will really help. And of course, look, you're new to the channel, press that subscribe button there so I can send you some more videos next week. But until next week, everyone, have a great golfing week.